But yeah, the combo is simple. Samwise Gamgee, Cauldron Familiar, and Viscera Seer. If you have those three in play, you get to sacrifice your Familiar, return it from your graveyard, trigger Samwise Gamgee, trigger the Familiar, so you drain one, make a food, repeat. Birthing Ritual assembles the combo, given that it also works in at instant speed, so it can just happen at your end step. So that's also fine, and on top of that we have Yawgmoth plus Yawgmoth for Value. Sylvan Safekeeper to protect, Haywire Mite to destroy things. Gilded Goose is a dork that also makes more food tokens if it's necessary to play around removal or something. Because you can play around removal a little bit by having extra foods. If you, let's say, have two Viscera Seers and a Cauldron Familiar, if you have spare foods, you can just play Samwise and it's gonna be tough for your opponent to battle. A new Z that also finds non-green creatures could work in this deck, sure. Very well could. Let's join a league. Never played this deck before. Played against it a few times. I think I mostly beaten it, but the combo is just so cheap that it looks pretty impressive still. And there has been a lot of weird versions people has been playing of Samwise. Most notably, I've been running into a version that was also incorporating the Wildgrowth Walker Amalia combo, which doesn't seem like it quite cuts it in Modern. This hand seems okay. We stray away from the linear path a little bit with this Thoughtseize, but it's fine. Opponent took Grist, which signals to us that Grist is good. So I guess I'll Thoughtseize. And this is the Ketramosa deck. Let's take Ketramosa because the remaining cards don't do jack. Witch Enchanter is blank. Holy shit, it's Biz Ketramos. This is such a funny card treatment. Looks so bad. Who thought that's a good idea? Oh no, that's a enchantment for Witch Enchanter. Orzhov will likely be pretty bad in the Temple meta starting Monday. It's always something random claim meta upcoming and then like is actually way different than those funny predictions chat. Bro, give me all the Temple meta. It's always... I feel like Amulet is crowned the new boogeyman with every BNR update. Yet it fails to convert. Copy pasta. Temple Garden meta, holy shit. The deck is excellent, but it's just easy enough to hate out that the other meta players are always able to shuffle things around a bit. I pitch Witch Enchanter just to exile all of my monsters. That's kind of rude. I could fetch a Dryad Arbor, but that doesn't seem very useful. Can get a Safekeeper. Harbinger main deck meta maybe. No, 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 no. Will not. New Amulet list live on stream after the announcement. Well, it's easy. Just cut Collector Ouphes and add whatever you want. Like, it depends on what you will be end up playing against. So I will not have a new list immediately, Da Vinci. That's not how it works. You can't. All of the main matchups are figured out already, so we know, well, by me, I guess I know what I want for them. Escape shoes are 100 euro each. I don't think that's true. I think I have the combo. Yeah, Da Vinci is really from the future. But for the 10,000th time, I will say that I actually do enjoy living in the present, which many seem not to. Consign. I guess the question is, what is the best sideboard card for the Temple meta? You can't really sideboard against Temple, but you can play Mykosin's Gardens main deck, and that's like sideboarding. If Titan can play Mystical Dispute, you can play Consign. Well, the issue is that it can't really play Mystical Dispute. It never really actually worked all that well. Also, when I did, I had plenty more sources in the deck. I had a fetch land or Generous End and a Hedge Maze. But splashing with... But like, also you can splash for Mystical Dispute a little bit more with Crumbling Vestige, because you actually want to cast it on your opponent's turn. On your turn, to protect your spells. Consign, you always want to cast it on your opponent's turn. It's impossible to splash Consign, it's horrible. It's a horrible idea. And the best anti-Eldrazi card is Mykosin Gardens, and that's just fine. Also, isn't Titan matchup good versus Eldrazi? It is, yeah, but like whether a matchup is good or not is an entirely separate question that doesn't really matter. Like, if a deck is going to be very popular, it's still beneficial for you to look for ways to improve, because your goal is to have the best win rate against the projected metagame, not to have the best, not to have all good matchups. Like, having all good matchups would, I guess, lead to that most likely, but it is slightly different and a fallacy that people very frequently fall for. Which the fallacy is grounded by things that are very much real, and for the most part it does work like that, because it is often easier to improve bad matchups, make a bigger swing happen in a matchup if it's bad to begin with. But if there is plenty of Eldrazi, you would like to have an amulet deck that is teched well versus Eldrazi, even if a badly teched amulet deck is 55% against Eldrazi. If you're gonna play against Eldrazi a quarter of times, you still would like to be 60%. I have heard you explain this expected meta versus good matchup sideboard mentality a dozen times. Yeah, it just comes up often. Spring in a Thoughtseize. I don't know how to sideboard. Wall of Roots, maybe. Submit. Don't really want any of the cards in the sideboard against white-black. Hey, that's a nice combo hand. Let's play cat because it's not weak to push. So many people think you got to have a good matchup versus everything you can play against. That, but also not really. Like people, I think like their default position intuitively for many is to try to improve your bad matchups and leave good ones as is. Which is like also like grounded in reality. It comes from the fact that you often, like, if a matchup is good, then you will have a harder time finding sideboard cards because like your main deck cards are gonna be oftentimes already good, right? Already pretty good in the matchup, so in practice you will end up with a smaller improvement. No monsters, that's good. Let's hope to dodge Solitude. Okay, sir, in chat, I'm watching while I'm at work. Please don't tell my boss. Okay. They did not melee Solitude. Just a Witch Enchanter. Holy shit, I top decked a Samwise Gamgee. White mana. Puff! Hmm. Well, they hit the correct monster as well. How am I supposed to beat Path to Exile, chat? How come I got puffed twice in the past hour? By two separate different decks. They both puffed to exiled me. Jeez, that is so ugly. Ketramos is so ugly, chat, I can't. So ugly or so based? Ugly, ugly. Opponent just plays no monsters in their white-black monster stack. They return no cards with Overlord of the Balemurk once again. Let's fetch Lush Portico. Hopefully it can find me something useful. A Birthing Ritual that's many looks at Viscera Seer. And Nurturing Peatland is another. Would I stop? Could be useful, yeah. Lush Portico. How do you pronounce it? Then, if not that. Lush Portico. Lush as in Usher. Lush? Lush, yeah, yeah. But I like Lush. Let's just get the Viscera Seer so that next turn I assemble the combo once again. Also chat, which card is stronger, Birthing Pod or Birthing Ritual? Discuss. What next then? Well, I'll just block and survive, right? We only have 8 power. Pod is stronger because it's banned. This is infallible logic. They have found solitude. I concede. Do I want Fatal Push to hit Philia? Maybe over Orcish Bowmaster, who seems kind of weak. No, it's actually kind of fine against Catramos. Maybe over Haywire Mite, who seems kind of weak. And over one extra Gilded Goose, which is also kind of weak. And then I submit. This hand has a basic in it, so it's bad versus Path to Exile. True, if the card was so good, then you'd expect someone to run it against you. Eventually, but no one did. I'll keep it on top, but this hand doesn't look so great. Is Vexing Bauble a viable sideboard card for decks like this if Solitude is a regular occurrence? Sounds not the worst. But also they can have Solitude, but they can also have Fatal Push, and then Vexing Bauble against Fatal Push is actually a bad matchup. Stack failure to prevent my opponent gaining value every turn. Also, Satikus, thank you very much for the sub. And your statement is very true. Assuredly. I draw ritual now. I wish. Or Grist. Chord X1. Seems a bit weak, don't really want to. They already drew 2 Thoughtseizes, so I will not shock and skip an attack to hold up the chord. Could shock to be able to fetch Dryad Arbor, I guess. Fetching a 2-drop now. Can get Bowmeister. Or Samwise GG. Or I can fetch a Survey land. That's Surveil. Unfortunately, Lush Portico is already in play. No, zajebiście usunąć feczyka. Can get Sylvan Safekeeper. Even though I barely knew her. Or Grist, yes. They have Ephemerate Flicker Wisp. They kept a card on top at least once. They play Felia. Sure. Smart gaining the Wolf. In that case, I'll go with X1 and just get Viscera Seer. They probably have something else, of course, but... Oh, sorry, Flicker Wisp. Holy fuck. This could be a collected company deck. to actually have some good top decks, because this is the same vibes as Amalia. I just never have good top decks. Like can fetch something, it's gonna die, and I just can't draw any card that's gonna be meaningful ever. Gear Hulk, yeah, maybe the Gear Hulk. Gilded Goose looks like ass to me. I get that it makes a food, but it just seems so bad every time I draw it, and it also seemed bad every time I seen opponents play it, so what if Gilded Goose is actually pretty bad and you wouldn't want to play it? We just want to GSD for. Like Mr. Eldrazi. You can Boseiju the Stomping Ground. I don't often play with creatures against Eldrazi's, so I guess I might get blown out by a Kozilek's Commando. Or Kozilek's Return at any moment. I did. On Brian. So I guess they use it, and I respond with a Cauldron Familiar, the name Viscera Seer. I still have Yawgmoth in my deck. That is my understanding of the situation. So if I draw Yawgmoth for Chord, I win, which I have 4 of in my deck. So 1 every 12 cards. So not really a favorite, but if they fail to manage to flashback Kozilek's Return, then maybe I will do that in time. I can also pick up Boseiju from my graveyard with Sam's ability. That's nice. Should I? Kill a temple. District is milled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Eugen Slab. Slightly awkward. I fetch Dryad Arbor, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. +6. So if I draw a land, I might save my wall. Makes some sense. Not a kanister. This is kanister? Holy fuck. I don't like that. Could pick up Boseiju and play it as well. You also kill them with damage. 2 turns of attacking. Oh no. Okay, it's just Mika spawn. It's not too relevant. Makes it hard to kill them with damage though. Pick up the Boseiju for sure. So if I draw a Chord, I actually can Chord for Yawgmoth. Come on, Chord of Calling one time. Also no lands in play, but no problem. That's fine. Should play many cool history cards alongside some. Actually. So, Boseiju, Takenuma, Gearhug is historic. Should I attack with my monsters now? This is the Thomas Monk list. I don't know who's Thomas Monk, so very well might be, but it is a list I copied from Mr. Zenovan on Magic Online. I don't even have black mana to cast my Grist, or my Cauldron Familiar for that matter. That's so funny. Still seems not beneficial to attack. Weirdly. Goose. Yeah, I should attack with the cat because now I have food. I didn't attack with it the first time because I had no food. But now it's a free attack, so I should be attacking. Of course. Of course. Not good. Thomas Munk is your friend, XD. You play at the same LGS. He won Nordic Masters with this deck and has been the main pioneer behind it. Holy shit. Do you have a link, chat? So I can take a look. Because I'm not super into the Yawgmoth aspect of this deck. The young wolves have been, I think, pretty blank so far, really. Oh, you draw? Thank you. Bros, that's the same list. Tell your friend it sucks. Doorkeeper Thrall, that does make it so that your combo doesn't work, which is a bit funny. Warren Soul Trader, let's hecking go. Wait, so villain drew, but they didn't make the scions, so... Well, they have scryed 1, scryed 10, so... I need to draw Chord now. I think that's just it. Boseiju. If you have the combo, you have a sack outlet for Thrall XD. For the most part true, but you will need to make a food. So it's a tiny bit less simple than just sacrificing it and going off. but close to. I assume they have found Emrakul. I wonder how much damage I missed this game. They have Emrakul, I guess plussing Grist is also bad. Because you can sacrifice a creature to kill Grist itself. So I'm actually forced to minus Grist. I'm sorry, chat, for this tiny misplay. Number 10,000. Discard 9 bottom. Which maybe means I want to reshuffle their deck still, but it doesn't really matter. A point will Emrakul me, I'm guessing. The promised end. The promised end, and what? Oops. Aye. Of course, I didn't have Samwise anymore, even before that, so the 1 mana more didn't matter. Arnold, I'll take the liberty to scoop. I actually can't beat the Eldrazi's here. But yeah, Kozilek's Return seems like a... sounds like a bad matchup. I guess I'll play Ooze. And also Crystal Barricade them. Either this deck sucks or we are doing something wrong. Or both. Birthing Ritual looked quite mid this game. It looked pretty horrible, in fact, I would say. Let's cut Orcs. Probably Mite. Or a Yawgmoth. I mean, I guess we are some away from victory on turn 3. I'll get a Godless Shrine. I'll play the cat to attack them with. I don't know if it matters if I play cat or Viscera Seer first, but in general, the cat is more expendable because it works from the graveyard, so I tend to play it first. Utopia Sprawl, alright, 2 manas for villain. I draw Lush Portico. I could surveil this turn to increase the odds of finding a Sam on the next turn. But I can also play the wall and Yawgmoth, which has a more natural flow of gameplay to it, so I'll do that and I'll surveil next turn. Eugen's Labyrinth. Not exiling a card, so they don't have a big Eldrazi, and they mill over a big Eldrazi and a Kozilek's Return. Okay. So if I top deck Sam, I just win. Nice order. Oh, holy shit, that's a Sam. Their order was perfectly fine. They tapped this for 2 mana, played a Talisman, and then they played the land, they played the Rumble, right? So... Samwise GG, nerd. Having to scry every time is a bit annoying, so I understand people running Carrion Feeder. I would go Rumble first to hit a biggie, worst case lose a token to play the Talisman. That seems worse. You end up with less mana, or rather the same amount of mana. if you succeed and less if you don't, right? Actually, no, you end up with more mana if you hit, but if you suck the spawn, then you end up with less mana. So I don't know, that doesn't really seem like a nice order situation, but there's something you can discuss endlessly on Eldrazi forums. If you are so inclined. Could be boarding out Grist as well, but I don't think so. Swamp Sam. This is almost nice, but I think I'll mull. This is the worst hand ever against Eldrazi's. Yeah, this is not enough, is exactly my thoughts about this hand, so thank you for vocalizing that. Tattoo. Maybe like this. Thoughtseize them, then Viscera Seer off the top. Then turn 3 win. Kozilek's return, Karn, kurwa, no i co? What am I supposed to do? They did correctly name red, so let's take Karn and let's just beat those sweepers. Miko spawn. Solid top deck. Oh, Viscera Seer. Maybe if I play this and then they top deck a land. I top deck a land and they tap out for no reason. Maybe I should have left them with a Karn so that they have a reason to tap out for no reason. Somehow Kozilek has returned. Wait, so actually now if I draw a land, I win. Hello, Real Command. Goose emote. Not Goose, Goat. Goat emote. Realko 5 high. Alright, chat. Land. Oh, kurwa, Swampage. Somehow I won. Incredible. Somehow. It's Samwise Gamgee, that's so true. I don't really think they had a reason to tap out for the sweeper. And if they never did, I probably would just never win, right? I think we can mulligan better. Looking for something more linear on the draw. Let's say I keep. Like, I have the combo, right? I chord for Sam, I chord for Cat. Easy win on turn 5. Orim's Chant. That's a great draw against the Orim's Chant control. Do I often have a feeling that somebody is watching me? Well, I stream, right? Nearly every day. But I guess I don't really have too much of a feeling of being watched when I stream. Somehow, it's just For me, it's like talking to a computer and then the computer generates random messages back. I can take Tune, which honestly seems like the best card to take from their hand, because then they skip the turn. They don't get to draw towards Wrath of the Skies, which would be problematic. It's crazy that Wrath of the Skies costs so little mana and does so much. As I fetch Lush Portico. If I play this, I get spell snared. They drew Mystic Gate, so they don't get to Snapcaster the Tune. I get to Survel again. Dystopian movie where the main character thinks he's speaking with chat, but it's actually AI generated. Holy shit. What if chat is not real? What if computers was bad or something? I mean, what if computers are bad? Yawgmoth seems like a card that has no impact on the game. Kurwa, Fetchland has even fewer impact on the game. You are using a computer. Also, it can be bad. Impeccable logic. Maybe Tireless Tracker would be a good option in the deck. Oh, opponent got impatient. They're like, now it's time to tune the narrative. I can't anymore. Flame of Honor, no nie, ziomuś. Can I actually combo win? Raz, dwa, trzy, cztery, pięć, sześć, siedem, osiem, dziewięć. I guess we can just try to win. One got too comfortable. Perhaps. Also, you could have Soul to chat. But it doesn't seem like they do. Bro, well played. Impressive game. Annoying to combo off in response to a spell, but it's also annoying to combo off in general because of the constant scrying. I'll do that 12. Alright. I was starting to type that I will do that 12 more times, but seemingly it was enough. Well of Summer in. Is there no option to always keep on top? Not with scrying, no. Thoughtseize in. Do I want Drannith Magistrate to stop my opponent's Snapcaster Mages? Probably not. Do I want Scavenging Ooze? Sure. Well, maybe. That seems fine because it can actually also beat my opponent down. Mite seems pretty poor. Maybe they play some bullshit like Orange Chant, but probably not. Wall is poor against control. And Goose is poor in the deck, so I could have played the Crystal Barricade as well, but that doesn't seem so great. Endurance, you could bring it in. Maybe it's better than a Goose. One lander. Many such cases. Let's keep. I have a wall to support my Chords of Calling, so I actually have plenty of mana. So I might be able to harass my opponent with instant speed plays a little bit. And I guess I'll fetch a Lush Portico. Probably not Lush Portico. Probably Underground Mortuary. Turn to land. Gaia Reach. Better lucky than good. Play my Wall of Roots. Get spell snared. That sucks. I wish it had resolved, but such is life. Sometimes you don't get what you want. Let's play Wolf and Viscera Seer this turn. Those seem like not very meaningful cards. Good against counterspell, and let me build a board to do something in the future. Are we Flame of Honoring though? Maybe you should have considered holding up Bowmaster. Hitting their draw 2 would have been quite nice. Narst. Tune the narrative. That's too much, man. Alright, so I can go Sam and Chord for the cat. Let's attempt. Spell Snare, get fucked, nerd. Punished for shocking first, so I guess -2 life. I could have maybe EOT Scried with Young Wolf so that I would actually kill Narset. I did not consider that, but it seems like an actually nice line potentially. Let's send the wolf attacking Narset in case of Gaia Reach Sanitarium getting activated. And let's summon the Orcish Bowmasters to ping down Teferi. Maybe it was better to do it the other way around. Because they hold up counterspell, I can make them spend counterspell on their turn at least. As you see, I am guessing what to do for my plays rather than actually knowing. So if I play Sylvan Safekeeper and Viscera Seer and Chord of Calling, no sacrifice food, just tap for my chord. I get Samwise Gamgee. No, I get nothing. I hope you're hungry for nothing. Welcome to the stream, Shiva. We do get nothing, but maybe we can find something. Another Teferi Time Raveler. What if I summon Yawgmoth? It's gonna resolve? That's crazy. What if everyone attacks Narset so I can actually use my Yawgmoth? Then I get settled the wreckaged. No, Wrath of the Skies X2. Then I concede the game. Can't even draw through Narset. Let's bring in Endurance over one other Goose. Given that the Goose seems really bad. Maybe even Wall of Roots is nicer to hold up cards better. But I'm slightly short on cards. Most of my sideboard is committed to those 3 Force of Vigors and 2 Collector Ouphes, which is, I guess, my plan against Breach, but I will never play against Breach in a modern league. People just don't try hard in modern leagues enough. Can't just get what you want. I choose to be on the play. I keep my hand. It actually looks quite excellent. This cover is used constantly in House MD. Is this a cover? What's the original then? House MD. What a show. Let's play Bowmaster this turn, given that if I play Samwise Gamgee, my opponent will fetch a Hallowed Fountain and they will spell snare my Samwise in 0.001 seconds, which I don't like the idea of. I'm even going to wait for their Surveil or their Tune the Narrative, because that's what they're fetching end of turn, right? So I'll put the Bowmeister into play now. Just to deal some damage, pressure them. How is Sam treating me today? Is he nice to me? Not at all. Actually, he was nice a few times. So saying not at all is not true. But he's not treating me so well. Opponents surveil the Gaia Reach Sanitarium into their graveyard and then skip their second land drop, which is a little bit puzzling. Don't you want the Sanitarium if you're missing a land drop number 2? Why did you keep a 1-lander to begin with? Or does it need to be exactly a blue land for counterspell? Or do you just forget to play your land? All of those are possible. I'll surveil. Another Sam is no good. I already have a spare Sam in my hand. Cat. Sure, let's play the cat. So my point is at 10. The nightmare scenario would be getting Wrath of the Sky and dying. If that doesn't happen, then we might be okay. Whoa, Celestial Colonnada. That's a blast from the past. I'll play Birthing Ritual, they counterspell, I Veil. I gain card advantage, maybe they force the Veil. Sure. But I still have to pitch an extra card and they have to play a land and play Wrath of the Skies. Which would be annoying if they do. No, yeah, they're playing it. What if I draw a non-land right now? That's... Yeah. Let's play this. Like, it seems too bad not to play it, but if it gets hit by white removal, it can be really bad. Hopefully Villain Flame of Honors my Sam, that would be incredible. Orim's Khan, sure. I can fetch Dryad Arbor for the lethal last point. I guess I can't attack, so I guess it's not a lethal last point. You are a beatdown deck, how does it feel? I'm not unfamiliar with being a beatdown deck, really. It's fine. Can I beat Solitude? Not really. Come on, flame it, yes. Awesome. Nice. Arbor food, that's the strategy, yes. I guess I could have done that EOT to have more attackers. Is that what you're saying? But like, yeah. Sure. Well, I'll keep, but maybe I'm not supposed to. Game 3 was a crapshoot. Why was game 3 a crapshoot? All the games were crapshoots. Let's lead on Thoughtseize. Divert the game a little bit from the linearity. Stay Glorious Vengeance. Is it Bandok to say that in the 2025 that I wish to 5-mana Fairy as well as Nexus had a different fate in that standard format? Oh, it's fine, but just cringe. Ulamog the Defilator, it doesn't even have any activated abilities, so nice combo with Soul Cauldron. Let's fetch a Godless Shrine. No dogs allowed. Scringe Goryo. What's the difference, Portable Head? What's the based version of Goryo compared to the cringe one? Discuss. Base Goryo doesn't play Stitch as Supplier. Sure. Holy shit, I can play Yawgmoth. Alright, I guess I can't pass on that. 12 life from 8, lost 8 life to my lands and Thoughtseize already. But if I suck Haywire Mite, I'm all good. If they kill my Yawgmoth, they can steal his ability with Soul Cauldron. One Peach. Right, the Goose actually pretty decent here. Holy shit. I guess I can respond to that adaptation. Actually live. Have I ever forgotten about Samwise the Brave? This deck wouldn't have made it very far without him. Is that a reference to what they say in the books? Don't forget Samwise the Brave. I wouldn't have gotten very far without him. Wrong lands for lethal. No, we're gonna use Birthing Ritual as a filter land. And now we have triple green. And now it's a Samwise GG type situation. Could have just taken Samwise of Wolf. I did not look at Samwise being there even. It was a Samwise ritual. I mean, chat, is this lethal? Yes, it is. So we got there. That's what is important. The journey, but also the end result. Also, welcome all the MTGO viewers. We're playing Samwise Gamgee. So far it's been going pretty horribly, but also not so bad. I think Thoughtseize might be okay. Haywire Mite functions against villains Soul Cauldron. Scavenging Ooze and Endurance hit their graveyard. Orcish Bowmasters doesn't seem to do too much. Gilded Goose is bad as usual. Their deck is blue-black, so Veil of Summer is probably going to be quite effective. It very well is going to play Psychic Frog as well. I'll play Push as well. Cut a wall, cut the Bowman. Cut one more Gilded Goose, the worst card printed in the year 2025, and maybe one Young Wolf. Let's go. Spawnman. Cauldron makes me think they have more Grizzlebrand than Atraxa, which in order makes you keep Bowman, which is understandable. They assuredly play something to synergize with the Cauldron, and we've seen Ulamog so far, which doesn't, so really makes you think. I'll fetch a Overgrown Tomb with Chord in my hand. Not to miss green. Hedron Crab. Wild. Chat, this is actually mill. No, it is mill self. Holy fuck. What the hand. Okay, 3 Ulamogs. And a fetch. I'll play some, but probably playing Thoughtseize Cat is better? Maybe not. A nerf? I plan to just play Cauldron Familiar next turn and fetch Viscera Seer and win. Chord of Calling. Dryad isn't green. You sure, buddy? Why? Oh, why do I even play Gilded Goose? I don't know. I'll keep this because if I get lucky I can win early. I'll put back Birthing Ritual, a useless card. Hopefully top deck a fetch land, first draw step, and then life will be good. Opponent indeed on white-black. Shadowy Backstreet. Emperor of Bones enters the graveyard. So I guess I'll play the Mite. Which is interesting. Maybe it's better to play tap Temple Garden, because if I get my second land I can play Wall and Mite anyways, right? There's probably some permutations where it's actually better to just play it instantly. I draw a Goose and then I black lands, for example. I don't know, maybe there's still no difference. Getting limited by the amount of black mana I have has been a theme of this deck. Which I guess it's good that it doesn't play any white cards anymore, because that truly would have been horrible. I understand that now after playing some games with the deck. One takes Chord. Perhaps slightly surprisingly. Ending on my Samwise. That is not surprising at all in that case. I'll play the Boseiju in order to play a Wall of Roots. And then I'll play Viscera Seer, so I can scry if I need to, if I deem that I don't have any more time to mess around. Attack my opponent for 1 damage, which for sure will be meaningful. Every now and then I do tend to deal damages, yes. I'll put Gab. Witch Enchanter. Alright. You got my Haywire Mite. But I am getting a scry out of that. Thank you for the sub, Gab. I appreciate the hell out of it. They only have 2 cards in hand, so actually maybe they just have 2 lands and I can win if I top deck Sam. Or Chord. Or GSZ, which is not in my deck, but if it was, it would be good. Bro, you're really gonna attack? Okay. What's your angle, I wondered. I should actually keep a creature in hand. If I draw Sam, I want to have a creature available to actually kickstart my combo, given that there is no wolves in play. When Nassif subscribes, does he become a Sabriel for a split second? What a great pun. What an incredible pun. Living End with Monument to Endurance. That does sound like good stream content. The last time I witnessed Living End was when Sodek played at the Utrecht. He had a main deck Force of Vigor and played 4 Collector Ouphes in his sideboard to board out Living Ends and bring in 4 Ouphes against Breach. But then I think he played 0 times against Breach and it was useless. Was it that last Utrecht? It was the 2 weeks ago Utrecht, or even a 1.5 weeks ago Utrecht. With the idea to just have Endurance, Subtlety, Form, Force of Vigor, Curator of Mysteries as a finisher, and just attack with that. And protect your roof. Which honestly sounds like a pretty sound plan for Breach, but an even sounder plan is to play Amulet Titan and be the very best. My great-great-grandfather that works at Wooded told me to buy Violet Outburst this week. No idea why. Oh kurde, Gurmag Angler, that's new. Gurmag Angler. Ephemerate my Gurmag Angler. No, ephemerate the Emperor of Bones, alright. Can I survive next combat? They have a lot of power, so maybe I can't. Maybe I can scry towards some. Scry 1, bottom. I want to be able to draw Chord as well, so I'll just draw now. I draw Mortuary. And now my opponent exiles my card and I can't even top deck. No! Should have scried once again. Alright. Misplayed. Well, as I said, Chord of Calling was also something I wanted to keep in mind, but we can go with Misplayed if you find it more funny. Let's cut Haywire Mite for being crap, and let's add Fetal Pushes and Thoughtseizes. Let's cut Gilded Goose for being absolutely useless. And then we can push. Can have one Maybe we can cut Birthing Ritual. It's pretty bad against the Witch Enchanter, which they always seem to have. Alright, let's keep 2. Okay, random sideboarding, let's go. Squeeze and Endurance to prevent Angler. Bro, I wish my opponent will Angler me again. That's all I hope for. It's a dream of mine. Right, let's put back Gilded Goose, because what else? Let's summon Sylvan Safekeeper. You really don't like Birthing Ritual. It seems bad in this matchup to me, because they seem to always have a Witch Enchanter to deal with the ritual for essentially free. And the payoff for resolving it is not particularly high either. That's been my thoughts, but feel free to think differently. That said, the Orzhov matchup looks quite rough. They do have plenty of interaction and they just beat me while killing my monsters. I don't know if you would agree with that, chat, or if any of the Samwise grinders would agree. I'll fetch the Survey land now. Mr. Balemurk, Witch Enchanter, and Ketramoz. Okay, at least they don't have Path to Exile like the previous guy. Dryad Arbor doesn't quite excite me. Chord of Calling does, though. They do keep priority. No, takes Kurvesy, no Solitudsky, no. This is overpowered, chat. Let's wait for them to target some with the Solitude, of course. Safekeeper dead. Yawgmoth, bottom. Now I simply need to draw one of my 5 outs or Birthing Ritual. Flicker Wisp, pick up Solitude. I see. That's a big problem. Responding to my opponent's high after 18 minutes because I hadn't noticed it the first time around. Did you just use it instantly? That's a bit weird. So on this spot, Dewdrop Cure would be awesome. Against the Relic Spam, not so much, but against... Removal? It would seem pretty good. Okay. I guess at least I don't lose on the spot. I'll lose to Ephemerate, but that card doesn't exist, so I'm choosing to let my opponent draw it. Another one. I'd concede. Alright, this list, this specific list could use some better plans against white-black. It's pretty cool though, overall. But if I were to